The University of Glasgow was established in 1451, making it the fourth oldest university in the UK. The main Gilmore Hill campus is based in the west end of the city. And in 2017, the university embarked upon an ambitious expansion program to further enhance its global standing and support its civic mission, creating additional world-class teaching and research facilities through a £1.8 billion investment program.
It was in 2017 that our journey with the University of Glasgow began, when Multiplex were awarded with the position of Programme Delivery Partner for the redevelopment of the Western Campus.
So the Western Campus is adjacent to the main part of the university at Gilmore Hill in the west end of Glasgow. Previously it was a hospital, which we bought back from the NHS in the mid-2010s, and it's provided us with fantastic growth space so that we can put on new buildings, expand the campus, and also reach out to the local community and make the university campus more of a resource, not just for the university's staff and students, but for everybody living in Glasgow.
The purpose of the investment was to continue the redevelopment of our Western Campus, improving our research power and our student and staff experience through state-of-the-art learning and teaching facilities.
So the infrastructure project started in May 2018 and was completed in June 2023. The project involved the demolition of 14 buildings on the university campus Western Infirmary site. In order to demolish the buildings, there was extensive asbestos removal, services disconnections and isolations. Once the buildings were demolished, we then had to deal with contamination issues in the ground. The whole remediation strategy revolved around that contamination.
The focus of the partnership was on quality and leaving a lasting legacy for the extensive investment the university was making in its West End campus.
Following the commencement of the infrastructure works, the James McEwan Smith Learning Hub was the first of the new buildings to be constructed.
The building is named after James McEwan Smith, who was accepted to the University of Glasgow after being denied due to racial discrimination to many American universities. He was the first African American to achieve a medical degree in 1837. His legacy is honoured by the University of Glasgow through the James McEwan Smith Learning Hub.
The building is a hybrid structure of steel and concrete. The steel is required for the 500-seated lecture theatre that the building incorporates. The end user is always at the forefront of all of our designs. With this in mind, this building has various formal and informal teaching and studying spaces.
I love walking into this building and having the option of shutting out and listening to my own music and doing my own work individually, fully focused, or taking advantage of this inspirational space for some group work. It is a modern and inclusive space that reflects his commitment to inclusivity and community.
The Advanced Research Centre was the first building to undergo construction on the site of the old Western Infirmary. The ARC provides the university for the first time with a space devoted to nurturing interdisciplinary thematic research at scale, crossing traditional boundaries and established ways of working.
The ARC is unique because it brings all the elements of the university into one single building. Scientists and artists and social scientists, chemists and physicists, all together in one single space. It's the universal nature of a university in a single building. By bringing all these researchers together under one roof, we're able to drive a new culture of interdisciplinary research. And by that I mean not just a chemist working with a pharmacologist, but I mean understanding how a physicist can enrich the work of a social scientist and how an artist can use a chemist or a biologist to drive their own research.
So one of the most standout moments for me in the job was when we discovered an uncharted mine shaft and how we as a team worked with one of our key supply chain to ensure the minimal disruption for that element. To overcome it, we had to install a bailey bridge and grout the mine shaft to a depth of over 50 metres. And that then allowed us to go back in and recommence piling in that area.
Following the success of the Advanced Research Centre, the university then entrusted us with delivering a third building as part of the programme, the Clarice Pears School of Health and Wellbeing.
So the Clarice Pears Building brought together 6 different research groups who had previously been located across the city of Glasgow in 10 different locations. So by being co-located in the one space, it allows for much more cross-disciplinary research to happen. So I've been involved in widening access, community engagement and outreach in the city of Glasgow for universities for over 20 years. But this space is the dream really, because what this has done has allowed a place for people to come together. The school has patient public involvement as part of all of its research. However, what the hub is doing is allowing more diverse and representative voices to be part of that research.
One of the particular challenges at the School of Health and Wellbeing was the internal atrium. We were to capture all the natural light. As you can see from behind me, it's all natural materials. Constructing the very angular and triangular shape of the atrium posed significant challenges. We had quite a lot of bespoke design scaffolds, and we had to basically finish the atrium from the top down. The area at the top of the atrium, as you can see here, didn't have a design for cleaning the roof-like windows when we undertook the project, and we looked at significant kind of challenges of how do we manage to clean those windows. One of the things we came up with, we took an idea from theatres. We had a 6mm, 100mm wire net which allows us to traverse across the atrium, through the open spaces, in between the various pods, and allowed the top of the atrium to be cleaned. Another of the challenges we had at the School of Health and Wellbeing was the steel frame, which is triangular in shape. Being triangular, it was very hard to keep plumb. Normally when you build in squares, you can build in sections and keep them plumb and square, but being a triangle poses very different challenges. And some of the intricate details around about the atrium to help form some of the overhangs and underhangs that we have were extremely complicated.
By now, the partnership had strengthened to the point where we collectively moved forward on the delivery of the Adam Smith Building. The building was designed to encourage collaboration with students and researchers that have an international outreach.
Adam Smith is the University of Glasgow's most famous alumni, and our principles of being entrepreneurial, engaged and enlightened are directly taken from ideas from his work, The Theory of Moral Sentiments and The Wealth of Nations. And what we hope in our new building is that these principles allow our students to study, to live, to work and to flourish in society more broadly based on those ideas from Adam Smith.
This building allows us to move away from the more didactic way of teaching. It's been designed to allow students to take the knowledge which is transferred within our lectures and apply it to real-life business situations. It gives us spaces that we can adapt to do different types of experiential learning and to really look at the application of that knowledge that they can take forward into the business world. What we have here is a full MBA suite
can start and work together on different projects. They work with industry. We also have a trading suite that our accounting and finance students can use and learn how trading floors work.
So one of the things that we're really excited about is the behavioural lab. And that was set up to allow our researchers to look at behaviour within an economic setting. So things like eye contact, how we react to images, text, voices. Mind the gap. And allows them to simulate real life situations without directly interfering in the place of work or the social setting. This is something we couldn't do before, and it's one of the few facilities in the UK that allows people to do that sort of thing.
One of the biggest technical challenges we faced on the project was with the precast panels. The precast panels on the project were nearly 3 stories high and 10 tonnes at their maximum weight. That made it really challenging to try and coordinate with the structural frame. In particular, it's a post-tension frame, which meant there was really low deflection limits. And that really needed close coordination and collaboration between all parties, including the university and the supply chain, the wider supply chain and internal Multiplex staff. I think the end result with the red precast really leans in and sits well with the historic architecture. Obviously we've got the Kelvin Hall and Kelvin Bridge right next to us with the red sandstone hues, and then you've got Adam Smith with the real modern precast and the interesting cantilevers and the angled profiled precast really kind of leaning in to the new forms of architecture.
This marks the end of our initial agreement for Phase 1 of the university development. Our partnership doesn't stop there. Fast forward to today, where we are excited to continue the next phase of construction on the world-changing campus with the Keystone Building.
The Keystone Building is the 5th building as part of our transformation programme of the Western Infirmary campus. It will allow us to enhance our research power, improve our student and staff learning and teaching facilities, and improve the student experience.
So Keystone project has some unique elements to its construction, and there's some very specialist engineering rooms on the south wing of the building.
You'll won't have noticed that I tied a surgeon's knot in my boots.
Magnetism rooms, there's some anechoic chambers, photonics and cryogenics. And as part of the construction to facilitate magnetism, we're not allowed to install ferrous rebar, so there's quite a lot of stainless steel rebar to be installed in the slabs and the columns to allow the magnetism rooms to function properly. Under infrastructure, we installed a high voltage switch room which feeds the entire western campus. So 6 buildings within the university campus are fed off the switch room, and we require under Keystone to build over the top of this. So we've already piled carefully adjacent to the live HV cables successfully, and we are about to start installing the capping beam around the perimeter, and then it will be a steel frame constructed which ties into the concrete frame of Keystone. So working close to the high voltage switch room has huge risks associated with it, not just in terms of health and safety, but risk to the university in terms of business as usual. So we've had to put in enormous measures, high risk reviews, safety consultations with everyone, all the stakeholders, to make sure that the work is carried out safely and efficiently.
If I'm thinking about the project to date, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is people make projects. The people that have been involved in this project have been exceptional on every level, wherever they've been involved.
Commercially, we're progressing really well here at Keystone. We're on track with procurement and working collaboratively with Atkins Realis. We're currently working on an open book policy which ensures best value for the client. These buildings have genuinely created a positive impact for the community within the university, for students, staff and for the local community.
We're not here just to build buildings, we're here to create a positive impact along the way. We do this by creating job opportunities, providing work experience and supporting local business to boost the local economy. So what employment benefits has the campus development enabled? We've had apprenticeships, new entrants and the existing workforce working on the new buildings. We work with local training partners and the DWP to ensure that there's employment opportunities for all on the campus.
The development went beyond just an extensive and complex construction programme. The purpose of the development was to leave a lasting legacy for the city and the community. And this was achieved through an extensive community benefits programme.
We've had over 200 new entrants on the campus, as well as over 40 graduates working on this site. On the Keystone project, we're going to be working with Action for Children and their Youth Build programme. To date, we've raised over 100,000 for our community charity partners. At Multiplex, our purpose is to construct a better future. I truly believe that we're doing that here.
This is the biggest project I've worked on to date in my career, and it's the stepping stone for me progressing on to senior surveyor.
To work in such a facility has been a proud moment in my career.
As an engineering student that wants to work in the built environment, having Multiplex around me has opened up many opportunities. I'd done a work placement with Multiplex in the summer previously. They've introduced me to Clarice, their civil subcontractor, and I'll be going on to do a summer placement with them.
The procurement exercise endeavoured to select a partner, a long-lasting partner that would deliver the investment programme for the University of Glasgow. And this year we celebrate 8 years of that partnership with Multiplex.
I've been involved with the university now for 10 years. That relationship has grown over the last 10 years in terms of trust, collaboration and transformation of the university campus.
So we wanted a construction partner that would be with us for the long term, not just to build 1 or 2 buildings, but over a period of 10, even 20 years, to work with us in helping to define that part of the campus and to build buildings that were not just unique to themselves, but also created a new campus, if you like, a new part of the campus for everybody here. And I think Multiplex has fulfilled that in abundance over the past few years. It's been a partnership that's been built on mutual trust and confidence in each other, and I think that's really worked well.
What makes the campus works here, the University of Glasgow and Multiplex so special is a close working relationship. And having that relationship where you can be open and honest with each other really helps deliver these magnificent buildings.
Previously the campus was something that was shut off, it was fenced off, and local people, I think, felt slightly intimidated coming onto campus. That's no longer the case. If you go into one of those buildings, you can see people going in for a coffee, visiting the public spaces in the buildings, but also using the external spaces, walking across the campus, and really enjoying that part of the campus in a way that they weren't able to before.
In terms of legacy, I would like to grow upon the positive feedback, particularly from the community and the people of the West End, who have been really complimentary of Multiplex and how we've changed this part of the West End of Glasgow.